Hello, Shining Light. Welcome to my channel where we talk about all things health and wellness holistically through yoga, meditation, and principles of freedom, where you can create the very best life, the one that you want to live by just letting go of stress, anxiety, and depression. So, today, I'm going to be talking about something dumb that I did. If you watched my previous video on going to the beach and how salt water and being in the ocean and out in the sun helps mature your locks, well, I still stand by that statement, but there's a little adjustment that you might want to make. So things happen, right? Live and let learn. We've all made mistakes with our hair at some point. And I'm new to locks. So one of the first mistakes that I made was I allowed myself, in doing all my extensive YouTube research, is to let myself, I wasn't exactly talked into it. I just made the decision. I'm one of those people who, when I research something, I try to know as much as possible. And based off of what I learned on the internet, diamond parting seemed to be the way to go for people who had fine hair, because it supposedly hid all the scalpy look because it would overlap. Well, with diamond parting, if you think about it, a person, in order to keep up that diamond shape, would have to go through your hair with a comb to keep that shape, right? Also, I'm tender-headed, so a person pulling those strands and using a comb in my hair is like torture. I wanted my journey to be as unencumbered as possible. I wanted my hair to just do what it was going to do. So when I called initially to speak to the person who would eventually start my locks, she just went along with it. The consultation was pretty much, what do you want and what would you like to get done? And I told her, because I was an expert. I wasn't an expert. I just thought this is what I wanted. It wasn't until I went to go see Yanni where she explained, and if you've watched her videos, that diamond parting, there's weakness at the points. Because, I mean, you want your base to be solid, which is kind of square or even, rounded or free form. With a diamond, not only are you going to be using a comb to try to maintain that pattern, but also your weak points is where you would have breakage. You want a strong base all the way around. When she explained that, it made perfect sense to me. And I mean, I told her truthfully, I said, well, I didn't know what I wanted. And the person I was going to obviously didn't have this knowledge, or she had basic knowledge. It's not that she was bad. She was actually happy that I only got one retwist, but she was happy that I had waited almost 4 or 5 months before I let her even do my retwist. So to me, diamond parting or all some of these specialty parts are for people who really want to show off their style. They're concerned about how it's going to look when their hair is parted and all of this, or, God forbid you see scalp and it's not perfect, right? That is not what I wanted. And if you're wearing locks for the long haul and you really want your hair just to be healthy and natural as possible, I do not suggest getting diamond parting. So luckily from here on out, Yanni's going to be taking care of my hair. And when she's not, I'll be taking care of my hair. But I have no desire for her to continue with these parts. I just want my hair to be healthy. I don't know what she'll do, if there's a problem with fixing it, if there's even a fix, or is she just going to keep maintaining my hair to make sure that there will be no breakage. So that was kind of the first mistake that I made. The The one that I've done recently is so dumb, and it's okay because how would you know? Or maybe it's just common sense, and I just didn't have any. I I recently went on a trip to the Gulf for my birthday, and they were having what's called June grass in the water. And it's pretty much just seaweed. And I'm like, well, I've been to plenty of beaches with seaweed in it. I'm thinking it's that big ropey kind of stuff that washes up, or, it's usually kind of big and chunky. I didn't think anything about it. Well, when I got there, the water is still crystal clear. It's blue. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm like, well, I'm getting ready to get in it because, it was hot and the sand was reflecting. It's just white and powdery and beautiful. And I'm like, I can't wait to get into this water. And I also can't wait to get this salt water in my hair, get my hair locked up, right? So I get in the water and, I feel a little bit of the seagrass, kind of touching me. It was just this fine, feathery type of seaweed that I wasn't really familiar with. And I was actually just kind of so skeeved out, thinking about, do I really want to be in the water with this kind of touching me? I'm kind of used to the little fish kind of maybe bumping you or something, when you're in the water. Some random jellyfish that doesn't sting, but just seaweed. I was kind of getting a little skeeved out. Well, I got in the water, stayed in there for a minute, got my hair wet, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go and, just going to go tan. You guys, it wasn't until I got back to the hotel that I noticed the seaweed was in my hair. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you are not supposed to be picking things out of your hair. You don't want to pick lint out of your hair because you pull the strands. And when you pull those strands, it weakens the outer edges. You're pulling the strands that are holding your lock together. That's why, it's recommended that you either just dye it. Pretty much you just dye it. If it's just right on the surface, usually you can just kind of just, pick it out or whatever. Not pick, but, just lightly, pick it up, but not pick it out. Okay, let's be specific about this. You do not pick lint out of your hair, but you can pick it off, right? So I had to sit there and pick strands of this seaweed out that had become tangled up in my hair. Now, this is not lint from your bed or your clothes. This is live organic material. Okay? So at this point, I'm sorry, but I wasn't really worried about the stability of my locks. I knew I could not be running around with wet seaweed in my hair. Ugh. It took me forever to get that out of my hair. So, note to self, people, when you are going to the beach, okay, even if the water is crystal clear, there is a chance that you may get something in your hair. It could be any sort of random debris that you don't even know that's in the water. Sand, just random plastic. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff floating around in the ocean, right? So what I've decided is from now on, I am going to be wearing, which is what I did on this vacation, I'm going to be wearing my silk scarf, some kind of wrap or something that can still get wet as long as it's not too heavy. And I'm going to keep my hair covered. Also, one thing I do almost nightly or weekly is do a check. And if you can't do it, have someone else do it for you. Have them check all along the base of your neck where you're liable to get lint. Have them check the top, check the sides. That way you can kind of stay on top of it. I don't recommend brushing your locks. I'm not sure where that came from. It just sounds like a way to snag and make your hair frizzy, just by pulling the lock out of shape. And this is actually something that I do, okay? When I see some lint in my hair, all right, I grab it, the lock, right? I pull it taut and I thump it. Like a rubber band, I'm like, thoing, and I thump the lint out. You guys, it works. It works. As long as it's not embedded in the lock, if it's just, like I said, on the surface and barely tangled, just give it a quick thump. And what that does is you're not pulling your hair. You're not snagging your hair and all of the shed hair that you've worked so hard to get tangled up in your hair to form the lock. So let me know if that works for you. What kind of methods do you use to get lint out of your hair? Also, I want to know a dumb thing or dumb things that you have done while you've had locks. I'm only in my 10th month. Yay! And my locks are coming along great. They are locked. They're pretty stiff in the middle. I've got an appointment next month to get them, get them done. And so far, so good. I've been happy with this journey. But yes, I want to hear from both the newbies and the seasoned alike about what you've done that's been kind of dumb, or what sort of, advice even that you can give about, what happens when you get lint in your hair. So hit the subscribe bell, the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and please join the community of people who I am seeking, those who want freedom from life. That means freedom from your hair, freedom from thinking that your body is something that is not precious, thinking that the world around you is out to get you, stress, anxiety, all those negative things that impact your life. We are seeking to remove those things so that you can live freely and happily and create the life that you want to lead. Thank you for listening. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you and be well.